are going to be first generation college students, meaning you'll be the first in your family to go to college. Okay, so about 1/4 of us. How many of us will be second generation? Your parents went, and now you're thinking about going. Okay, so the rest of you, everybody in your family has gone to college before. Okay, awesome. But what happens is a lot of times when you're at this age, your 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, one of the things that we run into a lot of times is our parents try to make decisions for us. Is that happening to anybody so far?
Yeah.
They tell you what they think you would be good at, or what they think you should major in, and what thing is going to make money. How many of us have heard that before? Right? Now, all of that is wonderful, but what I want you to think about is your purpose. Everybody say purpose for me.
Purpose.
Okay? One of the things that is so important is that when you begin to operate in purpose, then you also begin to tap into your leadership abilities. That the thing that you're purposed to do is the thing that you were created to do. And when you walk or you operate in the thing that you're created to do, then your leadership ability begins to kick in, because you can teach other people and lead other people in the way that you were purposed to go. Does that make sense to everybody? So the first thing I'm going to do is provide you with a definition of leadership. Okay? The first thing is that a leader, a great leader, possesses a clear vision and a growth mindset. A clear vision and a growth mindset. And let me tell you why I think this is so important to you guys, because you guys are 10th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay? So that means that you have about 2 years of high school left. And I'm saying 2 years because really that last semester of your senior year doesn't really count toward anything. Because when you start applying for colleges, you usually apply for colleges starting like in October or November. So the last semester of senior year is not really counted in your GPA. And it doesn't really count toward your going to college. Well, you say, well, how do you know that? For 16 years before I went to public school, I was a university professor. I taught at Fort Valley State University, Spelman College, Clark Atlanta University, and Morris Brown College. And so now I work for Fulton County Schools, and I work specifically with high school students on creating post-high school options, meaning career and college options beyond high school. So in that, one of the things a lot of times I run into with students is somebody might have said that they're not college material. Somebody might have said, well, I don't think college is necessarily for me. I don't think that I have what it takes. Or I've also run into a lot of students who say things like, well, I'm going to start my own business and I already know what I'm supposed to do, so I don't really need college, right? Have we had those conversations with people before and they say don't really need college? Okay? Tell me why people usually feel like they don't need college.
They think they're already prepared because of the knowledge they already have, but
Okay.
they still have. They just think they have the knowledge now, but they don't realize they need college. They're missing opportunity.
They're missing opportunity. Okay, very good, very good. Somebody else tell me why else somebody may believe that college is not necessarily for them. Yes, ma'am.
Because now we are like in a material that internet gives us like so many opportunities, and some people see like themselves doing like bloggers or YouTube, so they think like college is not necessary because they can make money in other way,
And they can be insta famous.
yeah.
Okay.
And somehow most people that do those things have more money than people that study. So it's like maybe you can just think like what I'm going to do.
Right, really. Even though you may be purposed to do something, you may do a wonderful job at whatever it is that comes naturally to you, how many of us know that you still need fine tuning? You still need some extra education in that particular area. I'll give an example. Somebody tell me somebody who you think is an awesome performer or athlete with somebody that has natural abilities. You say Beyonce? Okay. Who? Cardi B? Okay. But guess what? Okay, so you said Beyonce and Cardi B. But guess what Beyonce and Cardi B do even when they're not performing?
read.
They practice and they study. They study other performers, they study past performances, and they're constantly fine-tuning their craft. They're studying, right? So what happens is that when we have a fixed mindset, the fixed mindset says that I don't need anything else, I don't need anybody else to tell me anything, I don't have to study anything, I already know what I'm supposed to know, right? A fixed mindset says, well, I'm not college material, I didn't do that well in high school, I didn't do that well in middle school, so college is not necessarily for me. A growth mindset, however, says that if I learn how to do a thing, I can study other people and I can study books and other information that help me become better at whatever it is that I desire to do. Because leadership for everybody is not a natural thing. Some of us learn how to be leaders. But what happens is that in the growth mindset, what we do is we take every opportunity possible to try to fine-tune our skills, whatever our skills may be. If your skill is fixing hair, right? If you desire to be a cosmetologist, but you already fix hair now, you know how to do, maybe you do your mother's hair, your sister's hair, maybe you do your own hair and you get a lot of compliments. Does that mean that you don't need to go further?
No.
No.
That means that you can continue to improve your skills, because the better your skill, the better your leadership qualities, and the more money that is drawn to you. Thing down, but we're gonna make it work. Somebody read this for me. The necessity of a growth mindset. Just read this first one. Yes, sir.
In a growth mindset, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through education, hard work, brains, and talent, or just a starting point.
Okay. Somebody read fixed mindset for me.
Fixed mindset, people believe their basic qualities like their intelligence or talent are simple fixed traits. They also believe that talent alone creates success without effort.
Okay. Now, I included some people. I was very calculated in the pictures and the posts that I chose to accompany the slides, right? Anybody know who this first young lady is? First female coach in NFL history,
Really?
right? Now, do you think it was easy for her?
No.
No.
What do you think she had to do? Because you know, what's the first thing that people probably said when they saw this sister coming? What did they say?
She's a girl.
She's a girl. She didn't know anything about football, right? Okay, what's something else they probably said? She's not gonna make it. She's probably gonna be too emotional, you know.
Maybe two.
Uh,
I don't know.
They're not gonna listen.
They're not gonna listen to her because she's a girl, you know. So they had all sorts of excuses. But what do you think overcame the excuses of the people who probably didn't want her to take that position?
That encouraged her more.
You said that encouraged her more, but more than encouragement, ladies. Okay? More than encouraging her more, what do you think specifically happened? Determination, but she fine-tuned her skills. I don't care how determined you are, I don't care how encouraged you are, if you don't have the skill set, nobody's going to hire you, right? So what she had to do was she had to show that she was the best of the best. And that means that even though she may have known the game of football inside out, she still had to do what? Study and show herself approved. Because she had a point to prove to the people who said she couldn't do it. Now, a fixed mindset would have said, well, I'm a girl, nobody's going to listen to me. And that would have been a realistic point, would it not? Because do we see any females playing professional sport in professional football? We see not a one woman on the NFL field, right? Because this is a very tactical, brutal sport. But this is to say that in spite of what I know to be a very male-dominated arena, I'm still going to play my hand. I still have the ability to come out a winner. That is a growth mindset, right? The next person that I had is Judge Sonia Sotomayor. Why do you think I included her? First off, does everybody know who she is? Okay, she's the first Latino Supreme Court Justice. Now, tell me why you think that's important.
Because there's not a lot of Latinos in the Supreme Court.
There's not one, right? And so, do you think that she came up against people who had a fixed mindset about who she was and what she knew?
Yes.
And so in her growth mindset, even though she knew that people would not believe in her abilities and capabilities, she continued to fine tune the skills that she had. So not only was she a lawyer, but she became one of the best lawyers. That took determination, but it also took reading, knowledge, and hard work. Everybody still following? So you may be saying, well, Dr. Hall, why is this so important for us? We're only in the 10th grade. We're not trying to be on the Supreme Court. But it's important to you because how you think now is a determinant in how your future will be. If now already you have a fixed mindset that says, well, everybody in my family has done this is what I'm going to do. Everybody in my family went to this particular college and became a teacher or opened up a salon, so I have no choice. That's just what I'm going to do. That's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is important because even at this age, you need to know that whatever you dream possible is possible for you if you have the right mindset. Why do you think that happens though? Why do you think that these people come out of college and they struggle just like people who didn't go to college?
Maybe because they didn't take advantage of the opportunities.
Very good. Somebody give me another reason.
They might be scared to actually go on and take the field that they're gonna work in.
Okay, I like that point. All right, very good. I also think that a lot of it too is because they've done things that other people have told them to do because they didn't see growth as an option. Right? I'll give you an example. I had a girlfriend when I was in college who wanted to be a dancer. She wanted to major in ballet and ethnic dance, but her parents were both school teachers. So instead of her majoring in what she loved, she went ahead and majored in what her parents wanted her to do. What do you think happened when she got out of school?
Wasn't happy.
She struggled through school because that's not what she wanted to do. She struggled through school. So then she made it out of school, but what do you think with that struggle? What happened? She didn't like the job that she had, and she continued to work job after job after job after job that she didn't like. And when you don't like doing something, isn't it really evident to other people that you don't like doing it? You know, so it becomes evident to people. And is it hard to exhibit some type of excellence or show that you love what you do when you really hate it? And so what I'm saying to you is that when you develop a growth mindset, you've got to understand that your path in life is not necessarily about what other folks or other people would like for you to do, even if it's your family. Now, am I telling you to not listen to your mothers and fathers? What am I saying to you?
Choose what inspires you.
Okay, choose what inspires you. Break that down for me, sisters. Tell me why that's important to choose what inspires you.
Because, I mean, back to it, like, if you're gonna do something you don't like, and then, like, when you actually get to it, you're gonna be, like, you're not gonna be comfortable with the job, just like that.
Okay. Well, what if I want to do something like I want to be a professional basketball player? That's my only goal in life. You say do it? Okay.
Have a secondary option.
There we go. So, I also think too, because there's so many people, right? I've run into young people all the time, and they want to be a producer, they want to be Insta famous, they want to start making YouTube makeup videos, and all of those things are wonderful, right? But we know everybody's not going to become a millionaire on the internet. Do we know that yet?
Yeah.
Right? Do y'all have friends that are making all these YouTube videos and they think that that's their game plan, that they're going to be Insta famous or a YouTube star?
Yeah.
Right? And they do some dumb stuff, and you're like, girl, come on now, friend. But then when you tell them, they think you're what?
Crazy.
You're hating on them,
Oh, yeah.
right? You know, you're jealous, you don't know what you're talking about. I got about 30 people looking at my videos, right? Part of having a growth mindset and part of achieving your dream also means that you also need to have a backup plan. Everybody still following?
Yes.
Okay? Now, in our growth mindset, there are a couple of things that we have to do. First thing that we need to do is we need to be acutely aware. Acutely means like to be very, very specifically, right? We need to be very, very aware of what our gifts, skills, and talents are. Because whatever our gifts, skills, and talents are, they're usually going to lead us to our purpose, and that purpose is going to lead us to our success. How many of us already sort of know what it is that we're good at? Yes, ma'am. You don't know what you're good at yet? Okay. I know somebody in here knows what they're good at, what they feel like they're just really, it just comes naturally for you. You're good. I'm gonna tell you what I think you're good at.
I'm good at math.
You're good at math?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, what do you think that you could do with that math talent? Okay, I'm gonna let you think about that a little bit more. Okay, but what's your name right here? Rosia. Okay. Rosia, I see you, because you're so vocal and assertive, I see you as being the sort of person that you take up for the underdog. You know what an underdog is? What's an underdog?
Like a person that doesn't really think they have a voice and like lets people boss them around.
See, you're that chick that when everybody's at school and somebody's picking on somebody, you're like, don't do that. That's not cute. Am I telling the truth? Okay, so what happens is because you're the sort of person that has the voice to speak up for people who don't have a voice, then that's a natural talent for you. You know what that natural talent would be purpose for? Law, social justice. Does that make sense to you? Do we understand how your gifts and talents are connected? Somebody else give me another one. Something you're good at. Friend right here. What's your name? Velma. Velma, okay, tell me what it is you think you're naturally able to do.
Giving advice.
Okay. So you're the go-to person in your friend group?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to giving the advice, when you give the advice to people, does it kind of pull on your heartstrings when you hear the things that they're going through?
Yeah.
Then for you, psychology. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what happens is that, but do you see how our gifts and talents sort of align with what we're purposed to do? For me, since I was 5, I've always been a teacher. I literally had a chalkboard in our basement, so you know what that meant. Not a whole lot of folks want to play, right? But I had a chalkboard in our basement at home. I always knew that I wanted to be an educator. That was my life's goal. And before I could read, I used to write stuff on the walls and play school. So I knew that was aligned with my purpose. Now, the more I walked and operated in my purpose, the more I grew and I understood that my purpose was not just for a classroom, but it had a bigger presentation than you at that particular job. So we have to be aware of what our gifts are, and we have to find ways to fine-tune those things that we've been purposed to do. The next thing, now this one gets a little tricky. Somebody read this one for me about asking other people. Okay, yes, sir.
Ask others for feedback, such as closest friends, family members, boss, colleges, as they can offer slightly different views and give you an overall perspective on what to focus on areas for development.
Okay, so what this is that this is asking people for constructive criticism, right? So again, if you're good at something, that doesn't mean that you can't be better. So there's always a way to find somebody, like say for instance, there's one of my girlfriends who I consider like just a genius, right? She goes all over the world. Right now she's at the University of Costa Rica doing a presentation. And so she goes all over the world for free because of how much she knows, right? And people pay her for her knowledge. And so I, who want to be in that same vein, periodically when I do something, I ask her for her advice. Like, what do you think that I need to do differently? How do you think I need to fine tune this? And sometimes she'll say, I love it the way it is, Carolyn. And then there are other times when she'll say, well, I think you need to include this. I think you need to look at this a little bit more. Now, is that constructive criticism or destructive criticism?
Constructive.
Does anybody know the difference between the two, constructive and destructive? You don't know the difference? Okay, constructive, what's the root word you're hearing constructive?
You build something.
Okay,
Like,
there we go. So constructive criticism builds you up. Destructive criticism does what?
Break you down.
So we gotta be very, very careful about the people that we ask for feedback. So what am I saying? When you ask people for feedback and when you ask them for criticism or whatever it is that you're doing, you need to make sure you ask people that have your best interests at heart. Not people who are trying to find fault in you. And a lot of times, let's just be real about it, there are going to be a lot of people that are jealous of you because you already know what your purpose to do. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to be jealous of Rocio because she has a natural ability to be assertive. She's not the kind of person that's shy and afraid to speak her mind. Now, and we should be able to be at a point in our lives when you can kind of tell the difference between somebody who's telling you the truth versus somebody who just wants to criticize you just because. Have you learned how to discern those two yet?
Yep.
And these are very, very important because, like she said, you do need feedback. You do need people to tell you where you messed up. But we don't want it to be somebody who we know is not for our betterment. Okay, next slide. The other part of growth mindset is that we've got to be curious learners. Even the things that I'm not necessarily, I don't necessarily enjoy, I make it a point to try to learn about it. This. Well, you say, Dr. Hall, what does this have to do with me? I'm only in the 10th grade. There are going to be classes that you have in school that you're not particularly interested in. There are going to be teachers that bore you to tears. Does that mean that you have the right to just sit back and chill and do nothing? What happens, what needs to happen if you're somewhere and you're not particularly interested in what's happening? You've got to think about most of the stuff that you're learning now is foundational, which means that later on when you get to college, later on in your professional life, in some way this thing is going to reemerge and you're going to need to know these things. Learn as much as you can, as often as you can, because all of it goes into shaping you as a well-rounded and articulate person. There'll be times in your life when you go to job interviews, when you get scholarship opportunities, and what they look at is not just your application, but it's going to be through your conversation that they decide whether or not to give you the opportunity. Are you still following?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say that I'm in English class and I don't particularly care for the Canterbury Tales. However, I'm trying to get this scholarship later on. I have to pay attention because later on I'm trying to get this scholarship to go to Wesley College, and they're offering an English scholarship. But I have to meet with the English board, and they're going to say to me, what particular literature text do you remember most from high school, and how did it impact your life? Now, if you didn't like literature and you didn't take the time to remember anything, what's going to happen? You're not going to get that scholarship. Now, did I say you liked English, or did I say you didn't like English? You didn't like English, but you want that money, right?
Yes.
Because scholarship is what? Free money. Money that does not have to be paid back, but money that goes toward your schooling, and you don't have to worry about ever having to give this money back. So that means that sometimes we got to swallow that bitter pill and stay in some places that we don't necessarily like and learn some things that we don't necessarily care about, because it opens up the door for opportunity. And we're going to go some places and we're going to be able to talk to some people that we have to be able to hold conversation with. I've seen people who sit at a table and they have nothing to add to the conversation, and you can tell it's not because they're shy, it's literally because they don't know anything. Have you ever witnessed that before? And that's painful to watch. They have nothing to add to the conversation. And I really believe that if you're going to be a leader, if you're ever going to be anybody successful in life, you have to take every opportunity to know a little something about everything. You'll never know everything, but you need to know a little something about everything, because it gives you entryway into the conversation. Somebody said true. Okay, so from this, ladies and gentlemen, tell me, what is it that you think that you can do better when you go back to school, or just in general, what is it that you think you can work on improving so that you become a leader with a growth mindset?
Pay attention more.
You say pay attention more? Okay, very good. Okay.
Communication skills.
Work on your communication skills, okay?
Be more open-minded. Be more open-minded.
Be more open-minded, okay. Now, being more open-minded, does that mean you have to agree with everybody?
No.
Okay, but what does it mean
You
for
have
us?
to be open to like their opinion or what they think.
Very good,
The subject.
very good, okay. Somebody else, tell me how you think specifically this can apply to you and your development for the future. Come on, Velma, help us out. No? Okay, yes ma'am, this is Miriam, go ahead Miriam. Okay, very good. There are some legitimate questions. If you're somewhere and you have no idea what's happening, then it is incumbent upon you to ask the right questions. So I'll give you an example. Let's say with my people that are first generation college students, meaning you're going to be the first person in your family to go to college, then it becomes an absolute necessity for you to get around people who already have what you desire to have and make sure you ask them the right questions. Ask them, well, how did you pay for school? What are some things that I need to do to improve my chances of being able to go to college? What sort of colleges do you think would be good for somebody with my background? Because we got to keep all those things in mind, because this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to just choose a school like a rabbit out of a hat simply because it's college. Because you know you can go somewhere with a pretty campus and still be miserable. Okay? So there's several things that we have to think about. I think we need to think about, but I thank you guys. You have been a wonderful group. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.